There's a saying, and I know I'm going to mess it up, but I want to give you the gist of it, that who you are screams so loud that when you walk into the room, you can't hear anything else that you're saying. Do you get that? That who you are is so loud when you come into a room that no one can hear you. They can't hear your words, they hear your energy or they feel your energy. Have you ever been around people and you're like, their vibe was off. I don't know. I don't like them. I ain't like their vibe. And I know we've had experiences where we've been around people and it wasn't that they said anything, but it was the way that they came off. It was the way that they did things that made you feel uncomfortable, or you decided immediately, don't want to deal with them. No, 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 not them. Whatever it is, you had a certain feeling when you were around them. And the thing about that is that happens with all of us. All of us have a vibe that surrounds us. It's like an energy that we're carrying and we're emitting and we're reflecting in everything we do and we say. Even when we don't say anything, even when our words are not coming out, there is something that people are feeling about us and they're getting it. So it's like regardless of what's happening or what we're actually allowing to come out of our mouths, the vibe that we give off, the energy actually reflects something, and people pick up on that and they choose to deal with you in some cases or not deal with you based on the vibe that you're giving off. And so the question becomes, what kinds of vibes are you giving off to people? And is it what you really, really want for people to know about you or to think about you? Or is it what you are expecting? Because I would guarantee you that most times we have no idea, or we haven't really thought about the kind of energy that we're emitting or we are projecting out that people are picking up from us that makes them either choose to or not to deal with us. So I'm hoping that's clear. The question is, or the thing about it is, what usually impacts the vibes that we have, the energetic field that we're actually operating in, is what is within us. So there is a scripture that says, as within, so without. What it really means is whatever is inside of us. And there's another scripture, and I have to talk to you, if I'm going to use scriptures or whatever, it's because I grew up Christian. It's not because I try to convert anybody into anything. It's just that that's the reference, the frame of reference that I have. And so it's like, out of the heart, the mouth speaks. Whatever's inside us actually shows up as an it's like out picturing in our life, in our world. This is how our life looks based on what's inside of us. And I don't know if you knew that, but when I began to learn that, I began to understand things about the kinds of people when I was, the kinds of men that I was attracting in particular. And how the men are picking up certain signals because of what I'm doing. I don't even realize it. It's like being a beacon on a tower and you don't know that you're a beacon, but that's why certain people are drawn to you. That's why certain people are attracted to you. And it's not until you are able to tamp down or you're able to get rid of the signal that you change the vibration that you're emitting. You're changing the signal that you're sending out unconsciously. And it means that other people who are on the same level or who are on the same vibration will actually be drawn to you. And so this is an example of if you are attracting certain people in your life and you don't know why do these people keep coming to me? Why do these experiences keep showing up in my life? Why do these people always want to do this as it relates to me? And it's like everybody's trying to do this to me. The question, instead of looking at them, is to look at what signals are you sending and what is it that's within your inner world, that's actually being reflected in the outer world, right? And so when you're looking at things from that perspective and you want to actually change how you are being perceived or what's happening in your outer world, you have to really do the work of really examining what's happening in your inner world. And what I know is that the things that you have experienced growing up, the things that you have taken on as beliefs, the attitudes that you've grown up with, and you've adopted along the way, the ways that you think that people are going to respond to you, the ways that you have allowed the abandonment, because these are some things that you've experienced: abandonment, rejection, betrayal, disappointment, anger, frustration. You have bitterness. You have some, toxic engagements with people. All of these kinds of emotions are reflected in how you show up in the world. Not only in how you show up in the world, they are reflected in how you manage your money. Your money, it's because your money is like an energetic field too, and it has the ability of being attracted or repelled by whatever you are projecting. You also look at the relationships that you find yourself with, connected to, and the people that are connected to you. And you find that if you're not connected to the right people that you want to be connected to, you have to look at what you're projecting, because those are some important things. And then you also have to look at your health, because your health winds up being a reflection of the kinds of things that you're telling yourself internally. The stories that you're telling yourself, the reactions that you have to people based on whatever has happened in your life, based on the feelings that you have, based on the experiences, based on your expectations, based on your intentions, based on whether you have integrity in how you deal with things or not. All of these things are telling. And what I know is that when you are able to release those emotional weights that I talked about, the grudges, the grievances, the frustrations, the disappointments, all of that, when you're able to let that go, it will transform and reshape everything else in your life. It allows you to define your life for yourself in a way that benefits you, because you get to decide. You don't have other people projecting their thoughts and opinions and perceptions about you onto you. You get to say, this is who I am, and this is not who I am. And I don't live according to these particular rules and regulations. I don't live according to this person's perception of me. I don't live because this is what this person has said. I don't live because of these experiences that I've had, whether positive or negative. I get to decide what is true for me in my life. And as a result of that, what it means is that you really have to be intentional, and you have to want to do this. I mean, because this is some work. This is a lift. You have to do the work in order to allow yourself to define who you truly are and to release the baggage. And when I say baggage, I mean the beliefs that you've picked up along the way of your life, the thoughts and thought forms that just don't have anything to do with you, but you've adopted it because that's what your family has believed, that's what your community has believed, that's what your church has believed, that's what your neighborhood has believed, that's what people in your state do, that's what people in your part of the world do, that's what people in your country. You have to give up some things that really just don't support who you are. And in order to do it, you have to examine it, though. You have to be willing to look at it and make a decision about whether or not this is appropriate for you. And if it isn't, you have to be willing to let it go if you want to change the way your life shows up. But in changing it, there's freedom, because you're free to define your life according to what's best for you. You're free to decide how you want to live, which doesn't have anything to do with your family of origin. It doesn't have anything to do with the community that you live in. It doesn't have anything to do with the state that you live in, the part of the country that you live in. You're free to make some decisions in that way. And I could say this, I live in the United States. And so there is an expectation of freedom about being able to make decisions about my life that I take for granted because I live in the United States. And I know that some countries, it's not as simple as what I'm saying, but I can say that even for people who have decided to resolve whatever issues, the inner issues. They've decided that they're going to lay down all of the anger, the bitterness, the rage, the resentments, the betrayal, the sense of injustice that they've had, that they've always carried, the sense of the grievances that they've always held on to, the need to be right, the judgments that they've always held against other people. When they've laid those things down, even in prison, these people have been free. They're in prison, meaning they're imprisoned. They can't come out and come and go as they want to, but inside they've been free. And that's a very, very, very powerful place to be, because it's like no matter where you are, your mind is free and you're at peace with yourself, with your life, with other people. And there's a lot to be said for that, because everyone can't say that. For sure, everyone can't say that they're at peace. You know, it's just not possible. But when you really allow yourself to lay down all of those emotional weights that you may have carried, you might have picked up throughout your life, they might have felt justified at the time, and they could have been. You needed to go through that. But the longer you hold on to it, the more you become imprisoned by the feelings or by the need to hold on to this particular experience. It's important that you allow yourself to release those emotional weights in your life. You can also release them in your business. If your business has been impacted in some way, you didn't get a project, you didn't get the job that you thought, you didn't get the promotion that you thought you saw favoritism in the workplace, you saw people who treated other people differently than they treated you. You saw, groups of people who have had a certain experience and that didn't happen for your group, or whatever the case may be. There are times and places where the best thing you can do for yourself is to allow yourself to experience the freedom that comes when you decide that you're going to release all of this emotional weight. And in releasing it, you allow yourself to be free, you allow yourself to be at peace, you allow yourself to define yourself for yourself, whatever works best for you. And that process is what's important as you decide to live the life on your terms, especially if you are an ambitious person, especially if you're an entrepreneur, a self-employed person of some sort, if you are a professional, a high achiever, high performer. These are the things that will allow you to elevate your life to a different level, your career, your business to a different level. If you're a leader of some sort in your family, you're a leader, you're a mom, you're a dad, you're a leader, right? You're a mom, you're a dad, you're a leader. You're doing the things that you need to do in order to move your life forward and the life of those people who are around you. Then it's so important that you decide, you make a decision that you want to release anything that doesn't support who you are, because that's what allows you to elevate and to move to another level. And you can move and you can go faster, you can go further, the more you can release these emotional weights. And if you're interested in talking about it, you want to know more about it, then I invite you to send me a direct message. You can do that. You can also send me, you can register for a discovery call. There's a link there that you can do that. You can also register for the webinar, which is Releasing the Weights in Your Life and in Your Business. And weight, I'm talking about emotional weight. Hope to see you there. Hope you choose to actually do something so that you